into a reading. Let's see what's coming through today. What is it you need to know for highest good when you click on this video? On a spread, please. Okay, now we're good. Yeah, there's because while I was shuffling, I was hearing mimics and watchers, and I kept staring at my. And it's not an obsidian; it's a tourmaline. So the shuffling was pretty long because I felt like I felt like they were pushing me. I mean, I feel when the deck is ready to read. It took a lot longer, as you may have seen. I felt like, I don't know, that's just what I heard. I heard mimics and watchers, and then I had to shuffle until I felt properly aligned. So that could in itself be a message. I feel like it is, because sometimes things do take longer when there's interference. And when you can clock or acknowledge the interference, it tends to fall away faster than if you're totally oblivious to it and don't know what the hell is going on. So you may be in a space where you are becoming more aware of when you kind of feel interference, just day to day. And then you clear it as you go. You know, that is what comes with the territory. That's just something you learn. You learn to do when you either may work in the same field as I do, or there's something around protection. But I'm gonna go through the spread. It may become clearer because I keep staring at my tourmaline, and the underlying energy is death. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, you know, when you transition, like I know the collective has been, I know there's been we've been channeling a lot around, or I've been channeling a lot for you guys around threshold, walking through threshold, leaving old stuff behind, leaving an old bodysuit behind, grieving that, but at the same time feeling excited or recalibrating and acclimatizing to this new sphere, this new frequency you've stepped into. Is gonna come with hate, or I guess the mimics and watchers, or the interference that is coming through here. Of course they're not gonna like when you level up, you know, 333 on the clock. Of course they're not gonna like when they also cannot reach you anymore, you know, like again, I mean, that comes with the territory. This is nothing new probably for you. This is just happens every few months, or every time you go through a death and rebirth process. As much as you might start feeling better, people around you might feel even worse, especially those that cannot be happy for someone else or cannot celebrate another person's growth. They're gonna feel triggered, because it's going to reflect back what have they been doing in the meantime, you know, like why have they not grown, why have they not stepped forward, why have they not stepped into their purpose yet. And then the projections start, you know. I noticed that as well when I'm in a similar phase or sphere. A lot of you know, they send projections, but they cover it up as care. You know, like, are you okay? Is everything okay? This can happen in your day-to-day life as well, you know, like, it's because they don't understand, they cannot keep up, like, they cannot read you. They either cannot read you or they cannot, I get deep your frequency, if that makes sense. Like, some people you will come across and they will not understand you. Like, you will be some sort of enigma or like an exotic animal for them. So if you or your being, or just you being in the frequency you're in, if you trigger someone by just simply existing, the ego can start scrambling, and they're gonna start, if they're not very evolved and not very self-aware, they're gonna try sending projections. And it's very weird how that happens. I mean, I'm a reader, so of course I can, you know, I can tap into the energies of whatever comment comes my way. Like, it can be the sweetest comment or look like the sweetest comment, and I can feel the intention behind it, the underlying energy. Like, I cannot be fooled that way, and I clock it anywhere. And there's a reason I'm talking about this, because when you share that with the wrong people that cannot read energy or have no like sixth sense active, all they will see is just like, oh, someone's being caring, or someone is looking out for you or is trying, when no, there's like a million things that have been said that I can pick up on, and some of you probably as well. That's why I'm talking about this. That for someone else, it's just they don't see it, they won't catch it, you know. So the more you start seeing, the more you start picking up on, the quieter you will get. You won't even need, like, you kind of end up going into observer mode, and that also takes time. Like, for me as well, has taken a lot of time to not get as triggered, you know. Like, even if I get like comments that are full on projections, instead of me then internalizing it, just going into observer mode and acknowledging, okay, this is a projection. I'm mirroring something back to this person, and they're struggling with what is being mirrored back, whether this is some sort of truth that got spoken through a message that they cannot hold yet, you know, whatever it is. This took me a long time. Some of you have been with me, I've seen the journey, I've you know, been on this journey with me for a while, so you also see my own growth, you see how I change, you see how I may be different from what I was a year or two ago, because as you all know, I also am constantly working on myself. I channel messages, I sometimes channel messages that I cannot post because they turn out to be for me, but we're still, like, we're all sending together, some at a different point. Sometimes we merge, some that are a bit further along may be able to offer help and you know, knowledge. It's like the circle of life. But I'm just, for some reason they want me to talk about it from my own experience, because you may be in that space where you're clocking a lot of BS around you that is being wrapped up to look all nice and sweet, when actually you can just feel that this is off, or this is not in alignment, this is not aligned, like this person is not in alignment, or is not aligned with me, and they may be struggling with that, you know. I also understand with viewers that have been with me and have resonated, and then I grow and I evolve also as a reader, and then suddenly the messages don't resonate anymore. It's gonna make you question, like, what did you do in the meantime? Why did the messages not resonate anymore? And then a lot of times it's like, oh, because it's like me as a reader, it must be because of me, when actually I evolve with the messages and the messages evolve with me. So again, there's a reason I'm talking about this. This could also just be as a general message that this is why a lot of spiritualists and a lot of whether this is Buddhist, monks teach you the law of detachment. Because if I were super attached to all of my followers and I needed all of them here, and whenever someone unfollows me or someone, comments something about me, that then, I wouldn't get anywhere. So I as well had to learn, I had to learn to detach from people, this came years ago, but I'm just telling you, if you suddenly as well feel like less attached to people or less attached to external noise, you have cultivated, that is like, I want to say symptom, or that is like the signature of someone who has managed or is on the way of cultivating a lot of inner peace. I'm just thinking of these memes of where like freaking house is burning down and the person is just, eating their soup in peace. Like that level of detachment does bring peace, and it gets misconstrued and misunderstood a lot of the times, and you're called selfish, or this person doesn't care about anything. That's not, you will probably, the most detached person is the one that probably at one point gave the freaking heart and bled for the whole of humanity, and just had to learn, that especially if you have a big heart, especially if you're super compassionate and empathic, if you bleed for everyone and you try dragging everyone along with you, and you want everyone to ascend at the same pace with you, you want everyone to open their eyes, look at what's going on around you, look at what the choices you're making, like there's so much I can do, there's so much you can do, and this takes a lot of time, I want to say, and it's also part of initiations of where you learn how to deal with these types of people. And if the mimics and watchers, I want to say you cannot control that, in the sense, what you can control is how much you let it affect you and whatnot. And I'm still learning about this, okay? I'm not like, I don't know why I'm like supposed to be talking about this right now, because I'm still learning about this, but I do also see that I have made massive steps, and I guess I have a whole arena here to freaking learn about this, because I post a lot online or on and off. But I'm picking up on someone, and I just can speak of it from my own experience, that you seem to you do pick up on a lot of things, where you seem to be moving past the point where you just call yourself paranoid, or you're just making shit up because you know that you're picking up on things. You're reading the thin lines or whatever, like you're actually picking up on shit. And just because others cannot see it, or others cannot, cannot, doesn't mean that you're in the wrong, doesn't mean that you're just making something up. It's the same with flies and like animals who see, I don't know what sort of colors that we human, like we cannot even tap into. So that's why I have channeled for like superhumans or subhumans who just have abilities and knowledge that not everyone gets access to. And then mimics and watchers try replicate that, but it doesn't hit. And the mimics and watchers, they replicate for the crowd that cannot see that someone is not tapped in, they're just putting on a performance. So it's all like, I want to say hierarchy may not be the right word, but it's like the food chain. It's, if I have someone that unknowingly is mimicking me or trying to replicate my essence, I really struggled with that as well, because I felt like something was being stolen from me, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And then sitting with spirits and also learning about this, The protection, because I'm still keep staring at the tourmaline, the protection comes from when you can somewhat create a force field around you where you don't leak energy, because that's what they try doing. They try get under your skin so that you leak energy, and then they can feed off of that. So when your auric field or your field point blank becomes extremely strong and you don't leak energy anymore to what you don't want to give attention to anyway, that makes you, for one, sovereign, but also that is how you destroy or get rid of mimics and watchers, because they cannot reach you anymore. Like, they can watch, but they cannot reach, like, either they full on don't understand the message. I also clock that whenever I read comments. I full on clock who is tapped into the message and who it just passes by, you know. But that is also the protection I put around my readings. I make sure that it's veiled and that only those can access it who also can receive it and who have passed certain initiations, and for everyone else it's just going to be static or some noise. And you'll get irritated, and then you start, oh, are you okay? Is everything alright with you? You have been this and that. Like, that's my protection. Like, that's how these videos are being coded. And that's also something I had to learn, because I wasn't doing that. But I'm noticing the shift as well. I'm noticing how, I guess, people are reacting to how the channel is and will be evolving. So we have touched on some things that have come through in this spread. I mean, I'm getting, like, the main thing is what I'm seeing is that you are evolving and you are moving up the ladder. And there's just a lot of finger pointing, because exactly of this reason that has been coming through, you can't, some people really can't reach you anymore. Like, they either don't know how to approach you, they don't know how to talk to you, they just don't know. You may just not be easy accessible anymore either, and people can feel that, you know. Like, that's why it's been coming through with the leaking energy. When you stop leaking energy, you're gonna become somewhat hard to approach. And this is something you can learn from, or I don't know, learn, but I'm telling you, the coldest person that you will have come across in your life was at one point the warmest, most loving, most compassionate, most empathic, wear your heart on your sleeves type of person. And I don't want to like bang on around, oh, it's a cold, cold world, but Earth is very dense. The energies here are very dense. We're moving out of the density, like the golden age, like the more our consciousness evolves, the lighter we become, and the more light codes we can carry. But Earth as a planet is very, very dense. So a lot of people struggle with that, especially empathic and highly sensitive people. You know, like, you're wired differently, you wired to move differently, and when a big chunk of the population isn't wired the same way and you are the odd one out, it causes a sort of distortion where a lot of you are late bloomers for that reason, because for a big chunk of your life you were made out as something being wrong with you, and then you spend years, or you start working on yourself, or you come across the right mentor or the right channel, the right readings, or whatever helps you, and then you start coming a bit more back home to yourself. And then you feel a lot of this is also around cultivating self-love, because a lot of you did innately sponge and take up on a lot of hate that people have towards themselves that they don't just spew it outside, like they just spew it, whether this is from your family, whether this is in environments, in friendship groups. Some people don't know how to sit with themselves. Some people don't know that they may have things to work on as well. They'll just spew it out. Blech. That's what I'm saying. I clock that in the comments as well. I clock who has a level of self-awareness where the readings will even touch and reach a part of you that is meant to, and others it's just like, it's just a mirror that it's just like there's something in front that you cannot access. You can watch, but you won't be able to access the actual codes that are being transmitted. So the same is in your day-to-day. You have the same. Some can absorb, like, how to explain this? Like they can access a deeper layer from you without having to talk to you, and others just see a surface. They just see like surface level. Oh, she has brown hair, or she has blonde hair. She has, green eyes. Just the level of how deep a person has met themselves is how deep they can meet you. So if someone has all their life just scratched the surface, and a person walks in with depth, who has literally gone down to the underworld, spent a year or 2 or 5 down there, pulled themselves out there again, like, they won't know what to do with you. Some can put the ego aside and just be maybe curious and ask questions, but a lot of people will not be able to meet you. They won't really know what to do with you. So yeah, you may have just spent a lot. The more you have learned to love yourself, the more you have learned to love that you're not, like the way you are is, that's the whole journey of self-love, is that you learn that you're good the way you are. Even if people have told you you're not, that you are exactly the way you've been created, the way God wanted you to be created, and that you are worthy of everything that you wish and desire, and that you can get it. Like, that is the path towards loving yourself, flaws and all. That's when you start vibrating more and more on a level, on a frequency that we would call, this is authentic, this is an original, this is someone who's true to themselves, who walks in their own truth. And a mimic, a watcher, someone who tries copying other people's essence, and it's just, they have not done the groundwork of even knowing who they are at the core. They see something or someone that they want and they want to be, and they think if they can put it on as like a performance and a mask, that they can embody you, I guess, or whoever they're mimicking, watching, when it cannot be replicated because they didn't go down that deep ass hole that not a lot of people have the courage to go down to. So of course it's gonna feel off. But it's not gonna feel off to everyone. It's gonna feel off to those that also have met, can meet you at the level that you've gone down to, and others just stay surface level, and then it just becomes a performance. But that's what I'm saying, you may be the person as well that just sees through performances. You clock that. I'm sure of it, because the spread that I got is definitely like you are learning more and more to trust that. You're learning to trust that you just see shit, you see stuff. Even the things that people may want to hide or try hide, or are very good at hiding. It's possible they walk in the room and you get like a full-on download, or like, this person's cheating on their wife. So yeah, you become quiet. You don't stop saying. You just observe, or you just clock things, but you don't stop saying things. That's again that image of the meme where fire is burning and back, but you're just eating a soup, because on this path you also learn to mind your own goddamn business, and a lot of people don't mind their business and they get caught up in real weird ass stories that they have put out themselves, and then it comes back, slaps them in the face, and they're caught up in their own web of lies while you walk away, you know, scot-free. But yeah, I am seeing a whole lot of people are triggered at the moment, and it does have to do with what you're embodying, who you're embodying, the level of self-love that you may have leveled up even more. You may have over the years or over time or over these months. It just keeps, you just keep learning more about yourself. You love yourself more, and it just seems to be, triggering some people. But at the same time, you're magnetizing and attracting those that admire and see what you carry and the codes you carry. And this is a natural filtration system that is now taking place, that you may have just refined, because I'm getting a sense that you've stopped also people pleasing, or just putting on a mask, a social mask, because this is what we learned. This is polite. When you go to other countries or you move around, there's not the same. It's not the same culture, and that's why some of you will feel more home somewhere else than where you grew up around. Especially if you've grown up in a culture, or you've grown up in a country where it's very normal to be fake and put on a fake, polite persona. You're gonna feel a lot more held and a lot safer as a person when you travel to somewhere, or you move to somewhere where you can just be yourself, and it's absolutely fine. Like, you can just be yourself. And that's what it's coming down to, because anyone that fully embodies their own truth you become a magnet. You become a magnet to opportunities, to your own desires, to the right people that can actually hold space for you, and not just surface level, or just try to get close to you for proximity. Like, the way you're moving, whoever this reading is for, you're starting to move in a way that for others can seem very, I want to say, like cold or cool and calculated, when actually you just seem to be someone that you're an observer. You observe and then you move. So that, in other words, could speak of you becoming less reactive, and you start responding to your outer world. Don't just react to it from your shadow, from your inner child, or from a lower part of you or higher part of you. Like, you're like processing in real time and then responding, and that can also, I'm hearing, like, put some people off, because you just become somewhat like unbreakable, unshakable. I heard, I have the Empress out, so it's just like you start embodying a frequency that not a lot of people can reach, and that's what's bothering certain people that may have just had easy access to you all the time. Like, I'm also seeing you're not someone that wants to sit at a lot of tables. So that could speak of you just either you've built your own, you're building, or you've built your own table and you choose who gets to sit with you. And then maybe there's like, I'm thinking of this saying of like, the image I got is you've built, or you are building your own empire, and you can let whatever performances below you play out, like whatever circus, whatever games are being played that may in the past have been able to get you involved, whether this is through them triggering you, whether this is through, finding your weak spots and pushing those buttons, and you now haven't become the observer who sees through it all and stops reacting and starts responding. That puts you in a place where, like, already came through, you don't leak energy anymore. So whoever tries playing games around you or tries to pull you into their frequency, they're just left with their own shit. And that is what bothers people, because you're unbothered. And they can't pull you and drag you into their storms. That's gonna bother people, especially if you haven't been like that all your life. Because again, that shows how much you've grown, how much you've matured, and how you are. I'm hearing how they are below you, but this is not you saying they're below, that's not you saying you're below me. This is where they are putting themselves willingly. They just may have thought or may be thinking that you're just gonna stoop down again on their level, and you're not. So while you are aligning with, like I have been seeing opportunities, new people that actually like the way you are, not the way they need you to be comfortable, but they truly and genuinely like, and some even love you for who you are. And that the thing is, this can be a difficult journey, because on this path, when you're learning to love yourself more, there's a period where you feel like it's like the universe or this dimension plays catch up. So you get a part of the initiation is like, can you love yourself when it may seem or feel like no one around you does? Can you stand in your own truth and love yourself for who you are when it seems like no one, not a single other person in this universe or in this planet does? Can you stick by that? And then when you do, and you stand by and you push through, you plow through, suddenly it shifts and you start magnetizing, like you start calling in the right people, but it will feel like a 180 shift, because also then the people, the opportunities, it will all be on your level. It won't be on the level where you needed the validation to the point where you were betraying yourself and sacrificing yourself and playing freaking Matai and the sacrificial lamb for people who just liked what you were doing for them. They didn't truly like you for you. So yeah, this is a big initiation that I'm channeling here. This is what seems to be like, I don't know what to say, like has been surpassing, has been I'm saying I don't know what to say, because I'm not sure if this is a part, like this is where you're at now, or this is what you're still moving through, or both. I mean, you will know yourself where you're at. I'm just gonna see before we close. You're just hella focused, man. Like the way you're moving looks like you're so focused that the noise, it just becomes white noise. And that's maybe why I had to speak from my own experience, because I did get very distracted, because I pick up on so much from other people. I had to learn, or I am still learning, as to where, as well as a reader, where it's important that I put my intention, and where it's just distraction and white noise that does not benefit the readings and doesn't benefit you. So again, you can apply this in your own life. This may be exactly what you are, learning or also have been recognizing in your own life. What is a distraction, and what and who actually aligns with your path and aligns with your mission and aligns with your journey in a way that it adds, it adds value. It doesn't just take away. So I'm seeing like the golden snitch here, that's from Harry Potter, but also I'm seeing how you are bound to generate a lot of wealth, but wealth doesn't always have to be just money. It can be wealth as in what you consider to be a wealthy person, someone who has a beautiful family with healthy children, a husband that loves them or a wife that loves them. That can be the epitome of wealth for someone, or like a beautiful house, pets, everyone's healthy. Like it doesn't have to be just money. But whatever it is for you, the way you're moving, you are bound to generate a lot of that. And again, it's coming down to you're not leaking so much energy anymore as you used to. And the golden snitch kind of feels like a surprise, because the golden snitch is something that you try catching, and when you catch it, it kind of submits to you. And or this is someone who sees you as the golden snitch that needs to be caught, because the Empress, I do have the Empress out, so some of you may have been encoding or aligning with more of like frequencies of wanting or having someone choose you, because exactly they see you for who you are, and they love you or want to get to know you for who you are. And with you not being easy accessible, they may feel like you may come across as the golden snitch that needs to be caught, like your attention needs to be somewhat earned. Also from where you've come from and what you've moved through, that would make sense that you may be a little bit less accessible. So all in all, it's just looking calm for you. Again, that has already come through. I think it was in the TikTok reading. I was picking up on someone very calm and at peace and just feeling all around feeling good, which of course makes sense. That does come with the level of self-love you have generated. That's what happens. You literally are just, when you're cool with yourself and you see through the BS, you see what gets access to you, you know exactly what does not get access to you. That's just the epitome of cultivating peace for yourself and the space that you are creating. So that seems to be what you are doing or what you have been doing, and it's looking good. You're feeling good, or you are going to be feeling even better if this is still like what you recalibrating to. Because also when you're in this space, what can come up is everything that you haven't been able to process yet because you didn't feel safe or you didn't have the time to. So with death as the underlying energy, this is the recalibration phase, can come with a lot of ups and downs, also emotionally. But all in all, the spread is looking very much like, to wrap it up, you have risen above certain games that have been played or are being played to get your attention, grab your attention, to get you to stoop down. And because they can't do that anymore, or you're not allowing yourself, like you've just matured. You've just matured. You've grown up. I'm getting this has been a lot of trial and error as well, of having to learn what deserves your attention and what not, and this can be ongoing. But you seem to be doing a great job. Yeah, I heard eavesdropping. I got a sense but you don't have to worry about that, because I did get of course people want to know what your source, people want to know what is the secret source, what is the secret recipe, what made you into who you are today. And that again brings me to the beginning of mimics and watchers that think just because they've watched you, just because they've been somewhat close to you, or they've been a part of your life in whatever shape or form, they think they're a part of your life through proximity, doesn't mean they actually truly see you or clock you or can acknowledge the depth or who you truly are or what you're truly about, like what the frequency you carry is about. That's what people get stunted, and they're just not very self-aware, because some think just because they place themselves next to you, they fucking know, they know you. So yeah, I'm getting I'm getting an energy of someone who I just feel you're gonna piss off a lot of people, even more people. you're already pissing off people, but you're going to piss off a lot more people, and that is a good sign. That means you're doing something right. That means you are full on have stepped into your authenticity, your unique original blueprint, your unique vibration that cannot be replicated. They can watch, they can mimic, they can copy as much as they fucking want to. It cannot be replicated. It's yours. It's yours to keep. It's your fingerprint. And you're gonna piss off a lot more people, but yeah, that's a good sign. Like I was saying, that's just how I wanted to end the reading, because that does mean you've come home to yourself. You've been able to purge all the bullshit, all the bullcrap, all the opinions, all the projections, everything that people try throwing onto you. That was never yours, that was never your truth. You managed to purge that. Well, you are still. But that makes you one in a fucking billion. And you seem to know that, because that's what you're embodying. And it's gonna look like a beautiful, golden, richest life for you from here on out. Like, it looks like it's gonna keep getting better and better. So I feel honored you made your way here. I feel honored I get to read for you. Check out my Patreon if you want to join there for the zodiac readings and bi-monthly check-ins. Personal readings are up again, so I'm happy to work with you one-on-one. If you feel aligned and it's calling you, I will be available. And what else? Yeah, I think this is it. I'm going to post this and I'll see you very soon.